Hey everyone, Internet PCS book reader here. Today I want to talk about the Atlas Complex by Olivie. This is the final of the Atlas trilogy. In Atlas trilogy, we're going through the Alexandria Secret Society, where they keep information that their magic archive contain that the world cannot access, and 6 people is selected every 10 years to study there. And if you've noticed, this book is double the size of the previous 2 books, so let's go through this. The story of the third book actually started with the perspective of Atlas Blakely, the one who have been pulling the strings so far, way before the first book ever started. He grew up raised by an alcoholic mother in the style of Demon Copperfield. His father, or the man who should be his father, is a professor that really liked his undergraduate, but when that undergraduate gave birth to Atlas, the professor prefers his own family over them. And that's how he lived in a trashy suburban household in UK. And that's how, despite having 2 degrees and almost a third, the only job he can find is in a pub. It was at that point of his life where he got the letter to join the society, a letter that he almost missed and a letter he almost threw out because he's so tired of academics at that point in his life. But he went since the job at the pub and the life at home sucked so bad, and it was in there that we knew that he met Ezra and find out that one of them will need to be sacrificed. They plan to try to trick the society that Ezra is already dead using Ezra's time travel ability, but it didn't work. The other members started dying, and because their society initiates and none of them are dumb, they quickly figure out that it was because of Atlas. But it didn't matter. Eventually they're all dead, including Alexis, a necromancer that had become Atlas' lover at that point in his life. So Atlas kept going with his plan and started doing all kind of maneuver to replace the old caretaker. By the time he learned that every action have consequences, it's already too late. Somewhere in his life, Atlas is already doomed by the narrative before we saw him recruit the current 6. But for now, we go back to the present 6 once again, who have become the most wanted magician on Earth. We see Alif, Gideon's mermaid mother, along with some goons trying to capture Callum. But Callum managed to easily stop everyone along with the bystander and get away, while Alif was captured by the debt collector she owed gambling debts to. For Nico, last time we saw him, he and Gideon were attacked. After they managed to take care of their attacker, Libby came to them and passed out. Libby came after them because she knew that Atlas is trying to end the war, and also because all 6 of them are alive and there is no sacrifice, soon the 6 of them will also start dying like Atlas Society members. Not knowing what decision they need to make for now, they decided to go back to the archive. Nico managed to bring Gideon by throwing a temper tantrum at the society secretary, but once that's done, the 3 of them went off to the archive where Tristan has been staying since the end of last book, replacing the position of Dalton who is gone with Parisa. Parisa has been hunting Notasai, the guy from the forum, but so far she only met with the assassin that has been hunting the 6 outside of the archive. The member of the 6 have been having issues because they have not done the ritual of killing. Callum Ice is having a problem, Nico is losing something in his power, and Parisa has been getting headaches. After finishing a few assassins and getting back to Dalton, she received a phone call from her husband to meet in Paris, but she never got a chance to talk with her husband. The 6 that Ezra has gathered has spiraled out of control. First, they didn't know that Ezra has already died about a month ago. Then Eden Wesek from Wesek Company is basically a useless Nepo baby sitting around in the room doing nothing. Notasai from the forum is naive Buffon who seem to only know how the world works from spending too much time on social media. And the army member that worked with them just killed Parisa's husband. Meanwhile, Callum and Reina was going around London changing people's mind one at a time. It is Rena's effort at making the world a better place. Although they are still far from the world peace, is not doing nothing. Parisa, who have found his husband dead, has been growing more and more desperate enough to contact Reina despite the fact that they both loathe each other. She had met with Sharon, the library secretary, and confirmed his husband dead by the forum and some random intelligence agency. With her newfound pain, she tried to do Atlas project but without Atlas. That's why she's contacting everyone. During all of this, Atlas has been missing from the archive. We only see him through flashback to his past, a record of who he was and what made him. We also see how much the society itself is just another organization. Despite being a secret society, it still leaves the usual traces of an organization, needing to buy food, chefs, having lawyers and secretary. It needs money to run it. Meanwhile, in the story, Parisa finally met with another member of the sect, Libby Rhodes. The 2 of them talk, and because Parisa is Parisa, she can sense quickly that something is not right with Libby. They had a fight because Parisa tried to tell Libby not to go on with the project in her current state, and Libby refused despite her being the only one that kept saying that she won't do the project that will open the door to the multiverse. Parisa left knowing that she cannot trust Libby. Meanwhile, Reina and Callum have gone to the States to try to fix things there, although there's no success at all there because the way America's politics work is fucked. But they did manage to find where Notasai are and they went after him. But when they arrived, instead of Notasai, they met Parisa who have talked to Notasai. Parisa tried to recruit them to her team, trying to stop Libby, but Reina refused and Callum follows Reina's decision. Parisa came back to the hotel where she's been staying with Dalton, feeling more defeated than ever. She tried to persuade Dalton to not do the experiment, but he also refused. She left Dalton feeling lost and empty, but she decided to find the head of the snake, the society caretaker, Atlas. Meanwhile, Dalton returned back to the society. There we see Nico and Libby finally had the talk. From the first book, they've been such an enemy to lover trope. Here they had to talk about their feelings, about how much they meant to each other, although maybe they'll never be together in the way that lovers do in this life because Nico had Gideon and Libby had Tristan. So maybe never, but definitely not now. But they've at least confirmed that they'll always be in each other's orbit even if it's as friends, and after having that conversation, Libby resolved some of her internal struggle and decided to go on with the experiment to open the multiverse. But during all of that, member of the forum led currently by the seemingly incompetent Notasai is getting closer to the other member of the society outside of the archive. Callum had to go back to London since the Nova family was under attack. Reina, who was left alone in America, was attacked while watching a political rally from an independent party. The attacker was bold enough to kill the politician along with his family just to get to Reina. Callum, who was going to the Kane family on London, was attacked, and Parisa, who is looking for Atlas, got attacked by Ed and Wessex. But they are able to take care of themselves. The Ezra assassins are not the most dangerous things they face. Okay, so far the book can be too long for its own good. Most of the Ezra sixes are not interesting at all because they're moving from one character to the next and most of them never appear again, so they feel like unimportant side characters' backstory. There was also Atlas' backstory that felt like a prologue that no one asked for, spliced in between the real story. It also repeats itself too much because it kept telling us the same thing over and over again, only with more detail. But back to the current society, the danger they face is Libby, or Atlas, or Nico, or Dalton, or Tristan. Society problem is people like them who don't know when is enough and when to move on and will do anything just to chase the feeling of being enough. Because of that, Atlas made a series of justification to his action. He refused to accept that what he did was wrong and kept going. And the more those actions have consequences, the more the bar of his justification was lowered until the current Atlas 6 came. And from the first book, Libby had made those justifications over and over again, leaving Ezra, choosing who to kill and who will kill, abandoning the past with a nuclear blast that will kill the area and the people living near the blast, killing Ezra and Atlas when she got back. Yes, Ezra was dead the entire book, that's why we never saw him, only his past. And eventually during that talk with Nico, she made the justification so that she can end the experiment and do the sacrificial ritual by killing Nico during the experiment. And because she didn't accept her blame gracefully, everything went even more wrong. With Gideon seeing Nico's dead and seeing Libby first response is trying to justify herself, dismantled part of the archive defense, and as a result of that, Dalton was dead and Tristan was kidnapped by his father. Callum, who tried to save Tristan, got killed by Tristan's father, and after everything he's been through, Tristan finally came to his full potential. In a single moment before confronting his death, Tristan went through hundreds to thousands of different realities, but none of them felt right, so he decided to just go back to the original one, killed his dad, and took the bounty of them by ending the Wessex billion-dollar company with just a talk. Parisa made a deal with Notasai to stop the other parts of the people who went after them, and Notasai, hearing the offer for becoming the new caretaker of the society, easily abandoned his old position and principle. Then Reina finally was made aware of not only how powerless the world can make her feel, was about to just give up. But fortunately, Parisa managed to convince her to take helping the world slower to rest for a bit in the archive before she burned herself out. Notasai, who now have become another self-righteous caretaker of the society, came to the archive and met Libby. Libby has met Belen, who surprisingly is still alive, albeit dying from a brain disease and is on trial for America's designated war crime. After Libby talked with Belen and after reading her sister's diary, she hasn't really moved on and is still looking for ways to save her dead sister. But she also decided to leave, even laughing at Notasai because he will definitely get more and more defeated by the whims of the archive like her, because even the caretaker are not able to view out the archive. And that's the end of the Atlas trilogy. It is definitely the most flawed of the three books, and I can see how the ending can be controversial for people who want an ending that make more sense. But despite this element of fantasy, magic, and time travel, so much of it has always been a story grounded on reality. Individuals, despite all their power, can only do some good compared to how much bad the world can do. Most of the caretakers are so self-righteous and so blinded by their own capability anyway that they think it's their sole responsibility or that they will be the one that will change the world despite the changes that are good is always done by collective. And because of that, the story will most likely always move this way, because there's no one in the story that seems to have some idea on what they should be doing. It's why they kept their own agenda without consoling anyone. It's definitely a frustrating read, but not because it is not well written. It is still a very good story, it's just the characters can be very unlikable sometimes, like the characters in 1000 Times Resist. It's the kind of story that you'll both love and hate depending on how good you feel on any given day. I give this a 5. What do you think? Let me know if I miss anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.